Hey guys, Steve here from theturtlefollower.com with the strategy session for Wednesday, October 29th. So we talked yesterday about that we had this decisive break over the 50-day moving average in the S&P futures, and you can see what happened today. We had a little bit more of a volatile day, especially after the Fed announcement. You can see that here on the tick chart on the top. You can see these plus 1,000 and negative 1,000 ticks. So we hadn't had that all day, and then finally after the Fed we started bouncing around. But you can see what happened here. We pulled right back to the top of the 50-day moving average and closed pretty much unchanged. I think after hours it's down. Yeah, after hours we're down about another 5 points, but I think when we closed we were only down about 2 points. So for the type of move that we've had, came right back to the 50-day, tested that. We still have not made a lower low. Okay, you can see the lows in this rally, they're all higher. Okay, and that still holds true. So the first sign that we may be reversing would be a close below the last low, which would be today's low. So tomorrow, if we came in and closed below yesterday's low, that could prove to be a little bit of a reversal signal. But again, I just don't see a reason we don't test at least these highs right around 2,000. The NASDAQ, that was testing the highs yesterday, and today another type of consolidation, what we call an inside day, where all of today's action was inside of yesterday's body. All right, so essentially that is kind of what we expected. We expected to see some kind of sideways action, some kind of consolidation right here at the highs. All right, I would be very surprised and very skeptical of a breakout that pushed all the way through these highs without retesting or consolidating to just gain some steam. The Dow, okay, similar situation to the S&P, pulled back and pulled right back to the previous support and closed pretty much unchanged, down 12 points. And the Russell, this one also looks like it may have put in a small topping pattern. Maybe this is going to reverse a little bit, but after yesterday's move, it tried to extend its move, hit that downtrend line, and end up closing lower on the day. Out of all three, this one was down the most. So again, I would not be surprised to see this come back to maybe the 1100 area and then break out higher and finally break this downtrend line. But needless to say, if you either of the indices that you follow, there's nothing really bearish about it at this point. They're very bullish. They're very strong. The fact that we're consolidating, we're testing old breakouts, and bouncing off of them is a very solid base for the market going forward. So we're gonna just real quick go through our positions, and there's nothing really on the watch list to add to. We're pretty much at 13 positions, which is using most of our allocation. I think actually a little bit of margin. So I'm not really looking to add too much right now. But needless to say, the watch list itself is fairly mixed and nothing really outperforming. So we're not going to be taking any positions. We'll just take a look at our positions that we got into this morning and the remainder. So we entered this morning. SPG was one we entered. We entered at the open. You could see a nice breakout from yesterday, and we're using 162 as our stop. Earnings have passed, and you can see on the weekly chart we're also breaking out two all-time highs. All right, this is what we're kind of considering a large cup and handle pattern, where we kind of came in and put in a rounded bottom. Then here's your handle, this consolidation, and now we're breaking out from that. The fact that we were down a little bit today doesn't really concern me. We had a nice run from the bottom. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit more of a consolidation or a pullback. And also, don't forget, we've very typically, after a breakout from a weekly consolidation, we will see a small daily consolidation that will eventually break out higher from. So that may be also happening now. The other one we entered was Lockheed Martin, LMT, and this one actually continued higher. So this one very much similar to a lot of other stocks that we looked at in the weekend update, but This one's just plowed right through some support or some resistance, and is now at all-time highs. You can see the weekly chart, very nice pattern, right? Very tradable here. This is kind of one that you just want to be long and stay long. All right, and you can see how it's just very methodically worked from the bottom of the linear regression channel to the top. It's moved over, and now it looks like it's starting again. So good looking pattern. We're using 170 as our stop on LMT. Now the positions we've been in, Apple just continues to outperform, up another 0.5% today. And you can see fake breakout or breakdown. We actually got stopped out, but we re-entered, and now it's heading higher. So 95 is our stop in Apple, and really just let it work. ACE, we entered, I believe, yesterday. Yep, we entered yesterday. We had this trigger bar here on the 27th, entered yesterday. Today, small pullback, but again, you can see uptrend is intact. Very nice pattern as far as consolidation, uptrend, 50-day moving average, and some identifiable lows right there at 101. CB is another one. This one kind of had a great breakout here. This was our trigger bar here on the 24th. We entered on the 27th. You can see it has followed through, and now it just looks like it's doing a little bit of a consolidation. Nothing to worry about right now. 90.50 is our stop level. Costco, one of our older positions, you can see how it's starting to break out from that small consolidation we identified yesterday. All right, so now we're breaking out some new highs. I like that. And with that, we're actually going to move our stop up. I'm going to remove that and duplicate. All right, and now we're going to have our stop here at 122.07. All right, so let's call it 122 to make it even. But for right now, 122 is going to be our new stop. And you can see how just by, let me change this for us. All right, so there's our old stop. And you can see just by having some preset criteria in mind, we're still above the 50, or I'm sorry, our stop is still below the 50-day moving average. And if the stock were to reverse, it would also be below this longer term trend line. Perfect setup for a new stop. Home Depot continues to move higher. All right, looking for some type of consolidation just to get these averages and the trend line a little bit more in play. The longer we kind of go on this parabolic move, the further our stop is going to be. If we can at least get some sideways action, maybe a pullback and a higher low, then we can look to trail our stops. But for right now, 86.50 is that stop level. Kroger still within that box. All right, we talked about similar situation of how it's just kind of consolidating right now, moving sideways. That's a great sign. All right, we're not rolling over right now. Longer it goes sideways, 50-day moving average and the trend line come more into play. And then depending on what happens, if we put in a higher low or if we break out from a longer term consolidation, our next stop level could be right around this $51 level. L Brands, LB, you can see as well, also moving higher, trying to poke its head out of this consolidation. Right now, I'm very content leaving our stop here at 63.30. Next level we would probably move to would probably be right around here, 65.29. But I'm trying to use this longer term trend line as the basis going forward. As nice as this shorter term uptrend looks, I'd like to kind of keep it a little bit longer term. So if we remove to 65.29, we'd be above that level. So for right now, I'm just content letting it work. Lockheed Martin we went over. Nike, one we added to yesterday, or I believe maybe the day before, I'm not exactly sure. But you can see here how we had some consolidation right within yesterday's bar. And for right now, 83.75 is our stop. And you can see this is a little bit more of an aggressive trade. Our stop is above this longer term uptrend. So let's see what happens if that continues or not. Pepsi, once again, still in that consolidation right above previous resistance. $90 our stop. Similar to a lot of the other ones, just let it work for now. ROST, can see how it's consolidating, similar to L Brands. This one, instead of poking its head out, is actually just moving sideways. I like this type of setup. I think the longer we can move sideways in this nice tight channel, if we can go all the way over to, say, the trend line, I think that would be ideal for a new breakout higher and allow that 50-day moving average to catch up and actually provide some good support. Obvious next level for our stop would be 74.18, but that's a little while off. SPG we went over, and the last one, Travelers, and you can see this one's just ripped right higher. But again, as I said yesterday, not too many areas to identify any support right now to trail a stop higher. So for right now, we're going to remain at 91. That's going to remain to be our stop until we either get a consolidation or a higher low. For right now, though, looks great. The pullback, the breakout off of this weekly. Oh, what happened? There we go. Off of this weekly consolidation has been very strong. Right now, our stop is about $10 away from where the stock currently is, but like I said, there's no areas to move stop to. So that's it for tonight, guys. I tried to keep this one short and sweet. Sometimes people try to overtrade and do too many things, and really you make most of your money when you sit on your hands. So that's kind of what we're doing. We're going over these real quick. Not much to do. We moved our stop in. We moved our stop up in, what was it, Costco? I don't even remember now. Yeah, Costco. All right, so we moved our stop up to 122.07. I'll adjust that on the model portfolio spreadsheet. And that's it. I mean, that's all you have to do for tonight. So no new entries for tomorrow. This will be the first day in a while. And that's it. So like I said, sitting on hands is sometimes a good thing. It means your stocks are working. And the less you have to interfere with them and let them work, probably the more profitable you're going to be. So have a great rest of the night, guys. Please be sure to share and like the video. Leave a comment below. And follow me, StockTwits, Twitter, Google+, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Take care, guys.